And my secret game that I'm going to play has been revealed. We are playing Echo, a very popular game in this community, and it really does deserve its title of being great like this. It's really well written, it's really well executed, and it's very simplistic too, and like the game setup, the visuals and stuff. Like, it's not trying to do too much. And yeah, it's been out for a few years now. And for those who haven't played Echo, you're just trying to get into it now, Echo is basically about Chase, who I'm putting my arrow on. Chase is in his last year of college, I think, 4th year, whoever it is. And he's coming back to his hometown of Echo for spring break with all of his childhood friends. It's basically you trying to rekindle all that stuff together and kind of discovering the emotional baggage of everyone and the town itself. It gets very deep and also becomes a bit of a horror. So a warning for that. If you're not a fan of horror, thrillers, stuff like that, I would definitely not recommend you watching this or playing this. But yes, with that in mind, if you're looking for a really good novel with those aspects, this is it. And so, with my history of Echo, I've played everybody's routes like to the current update 0.30, except for Jenna, who we are gonna play on my channel. So this, like, basically this whole series I'm doing for Echo now is gonna be Jenna only, unless I want to go back to someone I hadn't played in ages and kind of forgot everything, which it's pretty hard to forget. Maybe TJ, because I went through in like a day and was binging it. But yeah, for now, the only route I'm expecting to do on here is Jenna's route. And so for this, since I've played this game multiple times now for other routes, I'm gonna kind of just like hammer through this, like, you know, not prologue, but just kind of the stuff before the decision for the routes come up, which is like a day and a half. And so, yeah, expect me to kind of go through that quickly, maybe try and do it without much commentary. Or maybe not, I might contradict myself. But yeah, I'm probably going to try and go through that faster so we get to the kind of the meat of the route. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning to do. And so with that out of the way, let's get into the reading. I knew you'd be back. You all come back eventually. Why do you try to run away in the first place? It doesn't matter. Even though you're here, you're going to try and run again. Just stop. Because just like this town, you're only moving in circles. Yeah, Mom, I brought it. No, I got everything. I've got everything. No, TJ's with us. We picked him up yesterday. No, I did call you yesterday. There was no answer. Fine, yeah. I'll try more than once next time. So of course they're clean. Listen, I'm driving right now, so... Yes, I shouldn't be on the phone, should I? I'm gonna hang up. Okay, love you too. Bye. I sigh and finally hang up the phone, dropping it on my lap. TJ, next to me in the passenger seat, stretches back and scratches behind his ear. Aw, that's cute. It's been a while since I've seen your mom. How is she? I shrug. Fine, I think. She wouldn't tell me if she wasn't, anyway. TJ taps a foot against the dashboard before yawning. Wow, it feels like we've been driving for days. Normally TJ wasn't one to whine, but the long drive was obviously getting to him. It was getting to all of us, honestly. I look over at him. We're almost there. Why don't you listen to some music or something? My phone's been dead for the past 2 hours. I didn't know it'd take us 8 hours to get there. I sigh. Whether that dig was purposeful or not, I still feel a little embarrassed. I'll admit, I got us lost for a few hours. Route 93 is hard to find, even with the GPS. It's no wonder that Echo's in the state it's in. You should have brought a book. Those don't run out of batteries. I look up into the rearview mirror and see Jenna holding a hefty book titled Cognition. TJ sighs. All of my books are on my phone. Why don't you listen to the radio? TJ starts to reach for the dial. Don't bother. All we get out here are Hicks stations. I don't have music on my phone, though. Do you have an aux cable, Chase? In this clunker? No, but like I said, we're almost there. Just having the three of us here is a little awkward, unbalanced. I wonder if completing our little group will bring back that old chemistry. Thinking about seeing Carl, Flynn, and Leo again makes my heart skip a beat. Take exit 127 onto Flynn Road. I jerk back to the present and press on the brakes as I swerve onto the next ramp. Whoa. Sorry. Chase, come on, pay attention. TJ adds a little giggle to enlighten the chastisement, but my face gets hot anyway. Hey, me and Jenna went 3 hours out of our way to pick you up from CCU. You could have taken the bus. No, I'm grateful. I'd just rather this not be the place I die. We continued down Flint Road for about 15 minutes in silence while I avoid the ever-increasing number of potholes on the road. I think we're all a little nervous now as we get closer to our destination. Unsurprisingly, there isn't another car in sight. You guys excited? I look in my rearview mirror again and see that Jenna has put down her book, staring out the window. I actually haven't given a whole lot of thought as to how I feel about the whole thing. Meh. I'm assuring we'll all just pick up where we left off. I meant Echo. Are you excited to go back? Oh. I didn't really know how to answer that. Is excited the right word? It's sure as hell stressful. As long as we can go for a hike. I don't want to be sitting around in the motel all day. Well, it beats having a heat stroke in the desert. Are you seriously hiking the trail? Oh, come on. It'll be fun. At least I know Chase will come. TJ smiles at me, raising his brows. It's too hard to say no to such an eager face. At least right now. Yeah, of course. Anyway, it sounds like you've only got the boys on your mind, Chase. Leo, maybe? Make a slight right onto Lake Emma Road. I ignore Jenna, pretending to be distracted with adjusting the GPS. A few more minutes of silence pass before Jenna speaks up again. So, this news thing you're making, What's it about exactly? I swerve it a little to avoid another pothole. A news packet. If you remember, there was that one crazy thing that happened here in the 1920s. I read a little bit about it, and it's pretty fucked up. Come on, Chase, language! Just thought I'd do a little more digging. Honestly, though, I just need to make something that looks good enough to pass with. Well, that sounds kind of fun. Are you going to have enough time to hang out? I know Leo made some plans. This whole thing was Leo's idea, actually. When I told him that I'd be coming down to Echo for spring break, he suggested we all use that as an excuse to have a reunion. He says it hasn't been the same since the three of us left. Yeah, I should. I just need some B-roll and shots of the old creepy locations. Shouldn't take too long. I catch a flash of blue and see the lake to our right. The conversation dies down a bit, and pretty soon, we're all lost in our own thoughts. Finally, we round a bend and I start to catch some glimpses of the town. The tall, rusted signs for the gas station and motel loom over the rest of the old community. Lake Emma Road merges right onto Main Street, where the motel is at. Soon enough, we're turning into the parking lot. There are only a few other cars in the parking lot. I park in the closest spot next to the door and switch off the ignition, relieved to be done with the driving. I sit back for a moment, rubbing my eyes. Hope you're grateful, TJ. I'd never want to drive that long again. Thanks, Chase. TJ hops out the car, clearly happy to be out. TJ puts his paw to his back and stretches out from toes to ear tufts, and I hear a few cracks. Gosh, it feels good to be out of here, or out of there. I smile as I follow him out and stretch as well, though less flamboyantly. It's good to see TJ reverting back to his old cheerful self. Alright, I made the reservations, so I'll check us in. You boys want to bring in our stuff? Sure. Me and TJ head around to the trunk of the car, getting our bags and camera equipment while Jenna heads inside. I'm pleasantly surprised. While it's a bit musty, the room is spacious and generally clean, a lot more than I was expecting from a town like Echo. Although I've lived in the town for most of my life, I've never actually been in the motel. Hey, this is nice. And 2 double beds? Yeah, I thought I'd get one of the nicer rooms, since everything here is dirt cheap. TJ sets his bag down on the bed. So, I guess this'll be me in Chase's bed. Jenna can have her own, obviously. That's nice of you, TJ. Anyway, here are your key cards. She hands us both our key cards, which I slip into my back pocket. So, when are we gonna eat? I'm starving. My stomach grumbles. We haven't eaten since breakfast and it's late afternoon at this point. I pull out my phone, checking over my texts with Leo. Leo said he's gonna get us some sandwiches from the diner. Did you tell? Yes, I told him to substitute the bread with lettuce for yours, TJ. Nice. Alright, well, I've texted everyone that we're here. Let's at least unpack. It's going to get crowded and I don't want all our stuff in the way. Half an hour later, we've got all our stuff packed away in the motel drawers. Now, I'm sitting on the bed, toying with my camera equipment while TJ watches TV and Jenna organizes her schoolwork. You know you're on vacation, right? And didn't you already get into grad school? You should relax. That's exactly why I need to be keeping up. There's a knock on the door, and being the closest, I get up to answer it. I'll get it. I look through the peephole excitedly and see a beanie cap with a pair of some familiar horns poking through it. I grin as I unlock the door and swing it open. Carl, Chase. I slap paws with him and pull him into a hug, and immediately get a whiff of the pungent scent of pot. Despite that, his embrace is warm and plush, and his belly squishes against my body like a pillow through his jacket. There is an underlining sturdiness, though, and I feel his biceps bulge around my shoulders. Had he been working out? I put my paws on his shoulders and push him back, looking him over. He's changed up a bit since I've last seen him. He's definitely bulkier, and the fur on his face is a bit shaggier. His eyes are a little red, and his expression is a little glazed, like he's daydreaming about someplace far away from here. Still getting blazed, huh? You know it. His joking nature drops a bit as he gives me a genuine smile. It's good to see you again. I feel warm inside as I smile back. You too. Is that Carl I hear? Carl and I step back into the room, the ram remaining slouched as we do. Hey, Jenna. Carl, how have you been? Not bad. Just living life like I'm a bee. It sounds like he's starting to sing the lyrics to a song, but he trails off as we all look at him expectantly. He just smiles back. Huh? Hey, is that TJ? Hey. Though he's smiling happily, TJ is outright crinkling his nose. Still up to your old habits, huh? Carl shrugs. I'm starting to remember that it's something he does a lot. It's his answer to almost everything. It gets quiet for a moment, then I clap my paws together. So, what have you been up to, Carl? You're not online that often. Carl shrugs. Oh, just hanging out. Must be kind of boring, considering it's Echo. Not going outside helps. You've been able to find a job? I know they closed the old corner market you used to work at. Yeah, been kinda hard since pretty much everything's closing around here. On top of that, I still don't have a car that can get me to Peyton. Oof, that's right. You crashed the one your parents got you. TJ's grinning sympathetically, but Carl hunches further into himself, looking sulky. Man, don't kill my vibe. What about school? Been thinking about going back? Not really. Maybe. Carl's starting to lose that faraway look as he narrows his eyes. You should. You went for what, a semester? That's not really enough time to tell if you're really cut out for college. Classes get easier to handle once you get used to it. Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly the schoolwork that was the problem. You could try smoking less weed. That might help. What? Was I set up for an intervention or something? Carl looks over at me, as if asking for help. Hey, don't look at me. I had to deal with them for the past 10 hours. Yeah, I guess. I forgot how naggy they can be. That's because we care about you, Carl. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Chase has been missing you ever since you left school. Carl and I were in the same class throughout school. As a result, we entered college together. We even roomed together for that one semester, which was a lot of fun. Of course I missed him. Carl seems pretty eager to get off the topic, though. Speaking of school, didn't you get accepted into Weston, Jenna? Yep, going into experimental psychology. I start in the fall. That's pretty cool, congrats. Carl turns back to me. And you're into journalism, right? He looks over the equipment, looking confused. What's all this? Oh, yeah, one of the reasons why I'm out here. I'm doing a news segment on Echo. Sounds like the feel-good movie of the year, Chase. That's what you get out of the feel-good town of the century, Carl. Yeah. Carl scratches his muzzle before turning to TJ. And you're doing... what again? Sports? Something Bible Olympics? Athletic training, but yes, it's a Christian school. Carl gives a thumbs up. Super. So we gonna eat? I'm hungry as hell. Hell is extreme there, Carl. Not even you can be that hungry. Sure. Where's Leo? He's bringing the sandwiches, right? He actually texted me that he's here. He was picking up Flynn. So we're all gonna be here? Just like old times. TJ almost looks like that little kid Lynx again, his ears twitching around with excitement. Oh, there they are. I grip the bedspread and watch as Carl moves around the corner to open the door. I hear it open, followed by a distinctive, deep, brassy voice of Flynn. Hey, why you get in the door, fatty? To get my sandwiches, dickface. I've got the munchies like a mother. Hey, where are they? Leo has them. Here he is. Hey, they all in here? My heart skips a beat and my tail thumps the bed as I hear Leo's high baritone. There's something bustling before they start coming around the corner, bringing me face to face with the rest of my childhood friends. Flynn comes first, slinking in casually, his posture loose and relaxed, slouching. Unlike Carl, though, his slouch makes him look like he just doesn't give a fuck, as opposed to just trying to make himself seem smaller. He wasn't a shy guy, as evidenced by his open shirt. And who are you calling a dick face? Flynn knocks Carl on the head, which made a loud thunking sound, but Carl just grins throughout. Hey Jenna, TJ, Chase. He nods to each of us in turn, rubbing his knuckles. Immediately following him, his arms wrapped around two big brown paper bags, is Leo. He smiles over the tops of the bags, sweeping the room with his eyes along with his tall rectangular ears. He pauses on Jenna, then TJ, before finding me. His face immediately breaks into a full-on grin as he walks over to the bed I'm sitting on, setting down the bags. As he comes to a stop in front of me, I reach out my paw to slap his, like I did with Carl. Instead, he grabs it to yank me right up into a tight bear hug, nearly squeezing the air out of me. Chase! Man, I missed you. Just like Carl, it seems like Leo's gotten bigger and stronger. He lifted me up without even trying. The tension I've been feeling in my chest melts away like an ice cube on an Echo sidewalk. Everything's fine. All of that worry about how he's going to react was for nothing. The hug is lasting kinda long though. I can feel everyone else looking at us. And just like that, he forgot we exist. Leo finally does pull back then, smacking me on the shoulder before turning to greet Jenna and TJ. I shakily sit back down, feeling a whole lot better now that the introductions are out of the way. Fuck. Leave Carl in the room for 5 seconds and it smells like a goddamn skunk sauna. The weed is just oozing out of your pores at this point. Flynn theatrical plugs his nostrils as he pulls the window open. Carl rolls his eyes, slouching further and jamming his paws into his pockets. Oh, shut up. I think everyone here agrees that my smell's a lot better than your shedding. Nothing like leaving a big pile of lizard dust on the couch for the next person. And by the way, dude, that skunk comment was specious. And that lizard comment wasn't? Flynn turns to me while at the same time fanning air in from the outside with a hand. What's worse, Chase? Carl's smell or my dusting off? Huh, dusting off? That's not a thing. Try saying white flakes that chip off of me with every step I take. Except when I scratch my ass, then it's like a fucking blizzard of dead skin. And some of it might land in your mouth. That's what you shoulda call it. Hey, you furballs do it too. It's just less notable. Either way, it's hot in here. Aren't you cold-blooded? Someone turned down the goddamn thermostat. Somebody turned down your language. TJ says it to him like a cheerful kindergarten teacher pep talking a student into using his words. They stare at each other for about 5 seconds, Flynn's expression like a stone, while TJ slowly loses his smile. Well, Jesus butt fucking Christ, I'll be sure to watch that. Flynn! TJ actually looks pretty outraged, but Flynn just reaches out and yanks him into a chokehold, the much shorter Lynx being easily dwarfed by the lizard. Ah, shut up, you priss. I'm just kidding. TJ half-heartedly fights the hold. I guess TJ thought he'd get some respect now that we're all adults. Hey, ow! You still said it? Normally I might step in to help, but it's been a while since I've seen Flynn and TJ go at it. It's just too funny to stop. Look, no lightning. So much for your almighty golf. TJ jabs his elbow back into Flynn's stomach, doubling the lizard over for a second. Ha! See? God works in mysterious ways. Ow! Flynn reaches up and grabs at one of the tufts on TJ's ears and yanks, earning a yowl from the feline. Foul! Species features. Species features was something we made up to make our tussles a little more fair. It involved any distinct physical difference between our species that might pose as a disadvantage, like my tail, Jenna's ears, or TJ's ear tufts. Carl was especially keen on it. Being a ram, his horns were often used as leverage against him. TJ, come get your sandwich. TJ finally yanks off out of Flynn's grasp, soothing down his fur as he tries to look as dignified as possible. Well, I can see things haven't changed. With that, TJ walks over to the table to get his food. I can't help but laugh. I think TJ won that one by technicality. Or did he? He might have fell too. Flynn's got a soft lizard belly. Flynn snorts, rubbing his stomach. Oh, don't even try to tell me about soft, asshole. It looks like you swallowed a beach ball. Speaking of which, food. We all pass the bags around to get our food. A chicken sandwich for Jenna and TJ, roast beef for me and Leo, and 3 large veggie burgers that almost take up their own bag for Carl. Flynn, as usual, isn't eating anything. I think it's a lizard thing. I keep my seat on the bed as I unwrap the foil around my sandwich. The smell wafts up from the beef, making my mouth water and bringing some memories up with it. We'd almost spent many nights at the old diner. I can remember the night me and Carl graduated. Leo took us all straight from Peyton High to the diner, skipping out on the all-night graduation party for sandwiches and milkshakes. I take a huge bite and a yellow bell pepper slips out the other end, landing back in the foil. Whoa, slow down. You're going to choke. Suddenly, I'm almost falling over to the side as something heavy plants itself next to me on the bed. I quickly grab a napkin and bring it to my muzzle, wiping away the grease. Hey, Leo? Leo chuckles at my embarrassment and unwraps his own sandwich. Sorry if the bread's a little soggy. Garabo over here took his sweet time getting into the car. Hey, working in the town hall is serious business. I don't have a family business I could just waltz out of like you. Hey, Flynn, I'll bet I can eat this whole burger in 1 minute. Is that a fucking joke? Of course you can. Yeah, but what about 2 burgers? Don't choke, Carl. I decided to keep the conversation on Leo's job, since that's the whole reason why he's still here. Is business still pretty good? Yes, Peyton's getting bigger, so is the number of customers. I guess it's a good thing that your dad moved out of Echo, huh? For sure. This place is turning into a ghost town. It probably will be by another decade or 2. By some standards, it already is. I took another bite of my sandwich, biting right into another bell pepper. I'd forgotten how good the diner food is. I noticed TJ sitting next to Jenna at the table, picking unhappily at his lettuce-wrapped chicken. Jenna seems to as well as she leans towards him. What's wrong, TJ? It's just... Never mind, it doesn't matter. Are you sure? It's just the mayo. I forgot they put it on everything here. Jenna lifts up the bun on her sandwich, inspecting its contents. None of the mayo really got on my chicken. Here. No, you don't have. Jenna picks up TJ's sandwich and swaps out his grilled chicken. She rips off the layer of mayo-tainted lettuce from his lettuce bun before swapping her chicken in. There. How's that? Thanks. It's then that TJ looks up and sees Leo and I staring at him. I see his ears flatten in embarrassment. What? Nothing, TJ, nothing. So are your parents still letting you live in the house here in Echo? Yes, we actually tried to sell it last year, but of course no one bought. I think 2 people came to look, but took off once they saw the town. Anyway, my parents are living in Peyton in a house twice as big as the old one. Well, it must be pretty cool living in your own house. My parents aren't constantly breathing down my neck, so that's nice. Leo's already finished his first sandwich, and now he's unwrapping the second. He sure could eat a lot. How many people are still here anyway? In the town, I mean. Leo takes another bite, and I hear the crunch of the peppers through his muzzle. He chews thoughtfully for a moment before swallowing. Not too sure. Of course I know almost everyone here, but most don't actually live here anymore. Most everyone's turned to their whole house into a sort of vacation home now. Really? Why? I can't imagine anyone coming here for a vacation. Unless your hobbies are meth and dying of heat stroke. Well, they've all gone their old houses here, and it's cheap to build. And the town is actually trying to turn that old lake into a recreational thing. Lake Emma? Yeah, they're putting in docks and stuff. Huh. Lake Emma is the old reservoir just a few minutes outside of town. As kids, we used to play around there all the time. It was generally an ugly place. Dead fish on the banks, a terrible smell, and mosquitoes everywhere. Then again, it could have changed since then. I haven't been there in 12 years now. None of us have. Thinking about the lake is making my stomach tighten again, forcing away my appetite in the process. It's been so long at this point, I need to learn to get over things. Actually, that reminds me. The others are pretty deep in their own conversations, but I lower my voice anyway, leaning into Leo. Hey Leo. Leo turns to me. He had been in the middle of a massive bite, and he now has a bell pepper half hanging out of his muzzle. That throws off my train of thought for a second. Oh yeah, so I wanted to get some shots of the lake for my project. Leo ducks his head to pull out the pepper from his muzzle, only to shove it back in a second later. He chews for a while, but his ears are still tipped towards me, so I go on. It's kind of important to Echo's history. Anyway, you told me that on Monday, everyone's free during lunch. I could tell by the set of Leo's ears that he knows where I'm going, and he's not too into the idea. I quickly go on. Of course, we don't have to, but it's been a long time, and if the town is making it look better, it could be fun. Listen, Chase. I feel my face burn a little under the fur. Sorry, it was a dumb idea. No, Chase. If it were up to me, I'd definitely do it. It's just... Leo looks towards Flynn, and I do so as well, finding him still bantering with Carl. It doesn't matter how fucking fast you eat, I'm not gonna be impressed. He's got that classic Flynn look on his face where he's pressing his lips together, trying not to smile. What if I ate all 3? You've already eaten most of the first one, so that's not gonna happen now, is it? I look back down at my sandwich. I suddenly feel really guilty. Here I am, back after 3 years, just assuming that I know how everyone feels. Now I'm kind of feeling like an imposter. Leo notices, like he always did, as he nudges me with his shoulder. Hey, don't worry about it. It's not your fault. Suddenly, Leo's ears perk up, and I know he's suddenly had an idea. His ears made him easily readable, just as raising people easily came to him. It made it all the more impressive that he was able to tell what most of us were thinking, considering my short, stubby ears. Or Flynn's lack thereof. Listen, there's a cool little spot by the river that's actually pretty close to the lake. We could have lunch and you could walk over and get your shots. The idea makes me feel a bit better. Alright, that could be fun. Also, this motel doesn't have a pool, so it'd be really nice to swim in something. Otters and their waters. Anyway, I'll have to ask Flynn, but I think he'll be okay with it. What would really impress me is if you didn't eat the rest. You're a really funny guy, Flynn. Carl goes right back into shoving the next burger into his mouth as Flynn looks on in mild disgust. He suddenly notices us watching him and he gives us an odd look, but that slowly morphs into a smirk as he focuses on Leo. You're looking pretty happy there, Leo. Not like you've been for the past 3 years. I furrow my brow in confusion and look up at Leo. I see him shift and he's giving Flynn a look that I don't quite understand. Well, of course I'm happy to see us all back together again. I look from Leo to Flynn, and it's pretty easy to imagine a bolt of electricity between them. You should have seen him, Chase. He'd go days without smiling. Agreed. Leo's been kind of a dick ever since you guys left. Isn't Jenna a counselor? Hey, you should have a session with Leo. I'm still an undergrad. I'm not going into counseling anyway. That would just make me sad. TJ is busy trying to hold his sandwich together and eat it at the same time. Not very successfully, but he looks up as well. Leo depressed? It's hard to imagine you not smiling. You seemed fine online. Has something been going on, Leo? For the first time since he's arrived, Leo looks truly uncomfortable. You didn't seem him like that very often. Flynn, on the other hand, has his try not to smirk face on. Leo pauses, pinned down by everyone's eyes in the room. Then he takes a frustrated breath. Can't people just be sad sometimes? Yes, things have been harder, but I'm fine. I think it's pretty clear that Flynn... Leo flicks his long muzzle at the lizard. Is just trying to get some reactions. Sure, I'm just saying you're back to your old self. But seriously, it's great. Leo makes a snorting sound. I'm about to ask Leo what's so stressful when he lifts his paw up again and to take a bite out of his almost finished sandwich. I go quiet as I look at his pillow. A silver anchor, tied around his wrist with leather. The word otter is etched into the shank of the anchor. The name Chase is engraved into the stock. Why was he still... Chase! I jump as TJ's voice breaks through my trance, bouncing on the bed once I come down. Leo looks at me as the whole bed wobbles, an eyebrow raised. TJ puts a paw to his muzzle. Oops, sorry, you were just kind of staring off into space. Yeah, just thinking about stuff. What's up? You were just talking about Endgame. Didn't you tell me that you saw that movie on the drive here? I really don't get it right now. I really don't get you right now, TJ. Endgame was the worst Lions Brigade movie. You're just mad because they didn't follow the comics.
Yeah, Carl. As a movie, it was just better. I'm sure the comics are great too, though.
Nah, the comics are shit. Carl tried showing them to me once. What? See, that is the problem. They never follow the source material and no one cares because they have no respect for the originals, man. You're way too picky, Carl. Endgame was a great movie. Not you too, Leo.
I don't know. I think Lions Brigade was always a bit too violent for me. What with all the shooting and punching. I've always liked the Trinity Weasel. She's the thinking man's superheroine.
Carl waves his paw dismissively. The Trinity comics have always been pretty lame. They're jerk-off fodder for lonely nerds, and so's the movie. Ha, you mean like yourself? Hey! Hold up, we're talking about Trinity now? Julia Blasco? She's hella fine. Never seen an ass like hers on a weasel before. That's because it's fake.
No, I just like the story. It's really kind of deep if you think about it.
It was hard to think about when half the shots are slow-mo and she's doing all these flips and backbends and shit. Come on, Trinity does have more story going on than your average superhero movie. Looks like Jetta's coming to TJ's defense. I think it's great that you like her character over all the meatheads. Yeah, they're just stuck in all the boob shots to reel in the dummies like you, Flynn. Of course that's easy for someone like you to say. Besides, I see what's going on here. Maybe you should watch Luce Lobo, TJ. He's shirtless the whole time. TJ's ears go flat, tufts pointed at the ground. I'd better stop it with all this saucy talk. The only way this could get any more awkward is if you got sprung. We all groan in unison, but TJ shoots right back.
And knowing you, that's exactly what you want to happen, isn't it, Flynn?
That gets a few surprised chuckles. Damn, TJ. Where'd that come from? It isn't that it's a particularly good joke. It's that it came from TJ that makes it so funny. I don't think I've ever heard him talk like that. Even Flynn can't keep from grinning a little bit. We talk late into the afternoon. At this point, all of my worries have disappeared, instead leaving a happy, warm feeling in its place. It seems silly that I'd worried so much earlier. In fact, I'm starting to look forward to the rest of the week. Alright. Leo steps forward, indicating that we should all shut up. Now, we all need to remember that Chase is here to do his school project, so that comes first. But I did make a few other plans for things that we can do in his off time. I'm pretty sure all of us know that we're going to Southwest Adventures tomorrow, so I'll pick these two up. He jerks his head towards Flynn and Carl. Then swing by the motel to get you guys at 9, alright? Sounds good. Then I was thinking about doing some stuff in Peyton towards the end of the week, but we'll make those plans later. In between those times, we should find time to hang out as well. Make the most of this. Leo looks about done, but suddenly snaps his fingers as if remembering something. Oh yeah, Chase. I saw you had a camera. Think you could get a pic of us? It'd be nice for all of us to have something that isn't camera phone quality. Oh, sure. I was messing with the self-timer earlier. Should be able to get it to work. After a few minutes of me adjusting the tripod, and Leo adjusting everyone at the end of one of the beds, we managed to get into position. Alright, here goes. I set the timer and fast walked to the spot Leo saved for me. I think that was a good one. For the next 2 hours, we watched a movie on TV, not really paying attention, mostly catching up with each other on how we'd been. It's good to be back, and it feels like we're all just picking up from where we left off 3 years ago. It's really nice. Finally, at about 10, Leo, Carl, and Flynn head out. I spend the next 20 minutes tinkering with the equipment, making sure it's all in order for shooting the next day. Once TJ finishes getting ready for bed in the bathroom, I do as well before getting into bed, head to toe with TJ. There's a soft glow from the corner as Jenna sits at the table reading something. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, waiting for her to go to sleep. There's a chain attached to my ankle as I walk away from the lake, my legs and feet caked in mud. I look back, seeing the chain snaking back around the rocks and reeds before disappearing into the water. Looking ahead again, I see Leo. He's smiling, waving at me. I walk towards him and the chain stays slack, pulling easily out of the water. There's an anchor in the lake, I say. I stare at him, but he doesn't say anything and keeps on smiling. I crouch on the rocks, wrapping the chain around my wrist a few times. Leo kneels next to me, rubbing my back and sticking out his arm to capture our bracelets, saying that everyone gets one. He seems happy, but now I'm stuck here. I can't even stand up to walk.